So welcome to Mason, Ohio for the Thriftway ATP Championship title match of 1995. Andre Agassi, the world #1, here he comes, against Michael Chang, the #4 seed here, and the holder of this title for the last 2 years. And what a battle this promises to be. On another very, very hot evening, where the temperature is in the 90s and the humidity is high, just as it has been for most of the week. It's been very, very hard work for all the players, and that is what they are playing for, this magnificent crafted glass trophy sitting proudly at the court side in its case. Thank goodness the case is there to protect it, because these boys hit the ball so hard that one blow would shatter that lovely trophy. A trophy that this man has never won, but this year is determined to. And it's been quite a year for Andre Agassi, who last April became the world #1. Here is the public address announcement.
Singing today is Ertie Helmet of the Cincinnati Opera. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed after twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets lit, the bombs bursting in, it proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So the formality of the national anthem completed, the players starting to prepare for battle. And what a battle this should be. Incidentally, the 8th All-American final on this year's ATP Tour. And curiously enough, Andre Agassi has been involved in all 8 of those All-American finals, starting with the Australian Open against Sampras. And there have been 3 others against Sampras at Indian Wells, Key Biscayne and Montreal a few weeks ago. And this one against Michael Chang, who he also played in San Jose and defeated there back in February. Well, here it is, what I was saying just now, the temperature of the air, 34 degrees, and that's in the shade, remember, in the 90s. And the court temperature, 50. Well, that is just absolutely crippling. Humidity at 82%, and that perhaps is the worst feature of all, because it is so draining, this humidity today. And Agassi here played in the heat of the day yesterday in beating Thomas Enquist. And frankly, Enquist wilted rather towards the end, who held on quite well but lost in straight sets. And a little smile there for the photographers. And now The umpire, Richard Kaufman, will call them to order as the spin is made, and Chang has won the toss. And we'll see in a moment whether he's elected to serve or receive. I expect to see him receive. He usually does. And Agassi still wearing that Pirates headgear which we first saw in Australia this year, where he went down for the first time and won the tournament. At the age of 25, in his physical prime, the #1 player since April, displacing Sampras from that position, and with a record of 58-7 in matches played this year. And these are his finest results. The Australian Open, he beat Sampras there, beat him again in the Key Biscayne final. San Jose, he beat Chang, and he's also won in Washington and in Montreal. As I've said, I last saw him there beating Sampras in that final. His opponent today, one of the grittiest performers of the recent era, 23 years of age, and a marvellously courageous player who's playing with a blistered right hand. He had that attended to yesterday when beating Stick in a marvellous semi-final that went to a tie-break in the final set. So here it is again, a few more details about him. 45-11 this year. That's a wonderful record. A ranking in the world of #5. 8 of the top 10 men played here this year. It was a wonderful entry. And those are his 2 victories this year, Hong Kong and Atlanta, and 3 other finals he's played in before today. So this is his 6th final of the year. Agassi and Chang, both at the top of their form. And this is how Agassi got to this final, losing just 1 set, that curious second set, love 6 to Beresategi, when he seemed to lose his concentration entirely, but he came back strongly to win 6-2 in the third. And yesterday against Enquist, 6-4, 6-2, far too strong and making fewer errors, not trying to go for too much, which is a mark of his growing maturity, because in his youth he used to go for far too much too soon and made too many errors, but since he's been working with Brad Gilbert, he's cut out the unforced errors. Chang's path through this final, he's dropped sets 3 times to O'Brien, Courier and Stick, and actually against Courier he was down 6-4 in the tie-break of that second set, so those were 2 match points, and he saved them, went on to win the match. Never in danger of losing yesterday, though. Stick put up a fine battle, and it was a lovely match, getting better and better, and the quality of play at the end quite remarkable, considering the heat, even at night, was still absolutely oppressive. Over 90 degrees and high humidity. So it's difficult to forecast who might win today, because both men have, you could make out good arguments for both men. They both have their supporting groups here. Agassi is here with his coach Brad Gilbert, and an entourage that includes some of his friends. His nephew Skylar Gonzalez, who, there he is with Brad Gilbert, who just applying a little bit of sunscreen and wearing a cap sensibly. Skylar Gonzalez there, who's 9 years old, and his personal assistant you just saw, Rich McKee, sitting with Gilbert. Gonzalez is the son of Agassi's sister Rita, who married Pancho Gonzalez, the late Pancho, who died just a few weeks ago. Chang here in his 6th ATP Tour final of the year, as I say. Richard Kaufman is in the chair, who hails originally from Seattle in Washington. But I believe he's moved. I'm not quite sure. I think it perhaps to Chicago, something like that. But he's a very experienced official. His 9th final this year for Agassi in the 13 tournaments he's played. And in the previous 8, he's won 5 and lost 3. And that's the best year he's had since 1988, when he reached 7 finals and won 6 of them. Now, if he wins today, he'll reach his 60-match win plateau for the 2nd time. He did that in 1988, his previous best year. 63 matches he won that year. And that's what they're playing for, that huge winner's purse of $254,000. And those 340 ATP Tour points, which of course are all related to entry and to the world #1 ranking. There it is. Agassi over 1,000 points ahead of his nearest rival, the man he displaced in April from that position, Pete Sampras. Chang currently in 5th position. Well, they yesterday had fans, and they've got them again today by the chairs. I'm talking about electric fans, which they'll turn on when they sit down to cool themselves with the breeze, and they'll be protected by the ball persons who carry umbrellas to shield them from the sun at the chair when they're changing ends. I'm sure they've got a good stock of clean and dry shirts. They'll need them. So it's going to be a terrific battle of wills. Chang, with his blistered right hand, very courageous, and the winner here for 2 years, going for a 3rd, just like Pete Sampras did at Wimbledon. And what a wonderful thing it would be for him if he could retain this title. Well, I was wrong. He hasn't elected to receive, he has elected to serve, and that perhaps is a measure of his increasing confidence in that department. Served 20 aces against Jim Courier in the quarterfinals, the most he's ever served in a match. And altogether, he has served this week 34 aces. So it'll be Chang to open this final. A 9-stroke rally to open the match. Another 9-stroke rally and another error, unforced, from Chang. Well, perhaps it wasn't such a good idea of Chang to open the match on serve. So third chance for the break of serve. Ooh. My goodness me, what good judgment from Chang. Many men would have elected to volley that high pass. So he's turned this game right around so far from love 40 to his advantage. What a pity. Deep concentration here. You actually have two of the best minds in the business on court today. Both terrific competitors. Lovely tactical point there from Chang, setting up the opportunity for his final winner, as we see it from the far end. And this was the one that did it. And he gets his footwork right and thunders his forehand into the gap. Well played, Chang. Coming back from love 40 to hold serve in the opening game of the match.
Children's Hospital Medical Center would like to thank you for your support of the Thriftway ATP Championship. For 22 consecutive years, the Thriftway ATP Championship has benefited children. Last year's gift, $260,250, the tournament's largest gift since it began in 1974, brings total contributions from the tournament to more than $2.75 million. Thank you for your support.
Well, you probably heard that public address announcement that the local children's hospital has benefited to the tune of $2.75 million over the years that this tournament has adopted it as their main charity, and that's wonderful news. ATP Tour charities always trying to find ways of helping those in the communities where they play their tournaments. Michael Chang has been a chairman of the charities board on ATP Tour, and so has Stefan Edberg. And welcome relief under the shade of that umbrella. So many fans among the fans trying to keep themselves cool on another sweltering day here in Mason, Ohio. Kings Island just across the road from the fairground and adjacent to the Jack Nicklaus Golf Centre. Brad Gilbert has been working with Agassi for a year and a half and has brought a sense of purpose to Agassi's game, helping him to decide how best to use his talents. In his youth, Agassi was a flashy player. What Gilbert has taught him to do is when to use the unlimited power that he seems to have at his disposal and when just to play safe. He's timing his attacks so much better. First double fault of the match. He's actually served pretty well this week. Only 7 double faults in the 4 matches that he's won in reaching this final. So Agassi's serve so much better these days. Lovely knee bend, good throwing action. He's actually off the ground when he strikes the ball. And the footwork good to get himself quickly into position for the killing smash. And another good serve. So honours even, and each man having held serve, though Agassi, in truth, perhaps should have broken Chang in that opening game when he had him love 40. Now they're playing today for the 12th time. Agassi here leads 8-3 in their previous meetings. He won the first 4, 2 in 1988 and 2 in 1990, including the French Open that year. And rather typical, that lovely pass taken early. Gilbert never stops chattering. A great sports fan. He follows all sports. He can talk with great authority on any sport you like to name.
15-30.
So Chang's 35th ace of the week, his first today. Again, it was the service power that produced the weak reply. Here it is, a lovely spinning delivery, half-court ball, in quickly and thump. It's a poor shot because, again, it was a half-court ball as a result of another good serve, and it's given Agassi another chance to break. This is therefore his 4th break point against the Chang serve. And there is the break of serve. Chang missing with his favourite forehand down the line. 2-1 to Agassi, first set. So here's another look at that last point. No, it's the spinning serve which allows him to take that early two-hander. And just trying to look for that short ball that he could really attack on. And here it is, he thinks, but into the net. So the service is lost. And the crowd's taking advantage at each change of ends to move about and try and find a little bit of air that's cool, because my goodness, the sun temperature today and the humidity combined made it an absolutely sweltering experience just watching the match, let alone playing it. And the players sheltering from the sweltering sun under that umbrella, taking plenty of fluid today. So Agassi has his break. Just checking where the sun is for the toss. 2-1, first set. And there it is. That is, of course, an in the sun temperature, 120 degrees. Well, as a matter of fact, for a set yesterday, Chang looked a little bit ill at ease with his timing, as he did on that last forehand. There were many of those sort of errors against Michael Stich. He lost the first set last night, but recovered beautifully to win the match. And the score last night, 4-6, 6-2, 7-6. And the aeroplanes with their advertising trailers, always annoying, the noise of them to the players. 30-all. So here is a chance for Chang to break back immediately. Agassi's second double fault. Well, like all the great players, Agassi seems these days to be able to find a good first serve when in trouble, and this was a good first serve, my goodness. And it makes this a very, very easy kill, provided that he gets there fast enough, which he does for the drive volley. Back live. Yes, Agassi just a little bit slow with his footwork, having to rush his shot. a second break point for Chang. So Agassi obliges with an error. And looking just a little bit edgy at the moment. Chang has recovered the break of serve. The only times they've met this year in San Jose on a court like today's, it was Agassi who won, 6-3 in the third, and in Atlanta on clay, it was Chang who won, 6-4 in the third. Chang has beaten Agassi just 3 times. That victory in Atlanta was the third. And the other 2 wins from Chang came in the Canadian Open in 1990 and here in Cincinnati 2 years ago in the semi-final. 7-5, 1-6, 7-5 that day for Chang. Keeps such a good length, does Agassi. Look at this, the scampering Chang, and there's no man quicker, can only pop the ball up high because of the depth of Agassi's approach. And both men seem to me to be just a little bit tense still. A lot at stake, of course, in terms of this man's #1 ranking and desire to stay in that position and to prove that he is the best player in the world. This fellow trying to go for a 3rd title in a row here at Cincinnati. So from the far end, Chang sitting on top of the net and forcing the error. The attempted lob is long. But you can see he's not getting in many first serves, Chang, and Agassi one of the best returners of the second serve in the business. All the signs are here that the tension is still with them. And this was the hand that was in trouble yesterday, this right hand, a blister. Well, there you are. You see, that indicates to me that the tension is still a factor. The sort of backhand that Agassi just doesn't miss normally when he's relaxed. Chance for a break of serve has gone a-begging. So another unforced error. And these are the clues which tell you about their state of mind.
Net for serve.
So he's a great scrapper, this Michael Chang. He really is. Not overplaying that approach. Forcing Agassi to make his pass if he was good enough, and he wasn't.
Advantage.
Well, certainly not a great tennis match yet, as both men, like boxers in the early stages of a title fight, fencing, probing for openings as they dance around each other in the ring. Too many unforced errors from both. And it was Chang's short ball which allowed Agassi to force the pace and make a winning volley. Just a little hesitant at the moment, both of them. And the tension shows in their faces. From the far end, the ball just failing to clear the net on a routine pass. Oh yes, that's a little touch of genius. A little touch of genius here from Andre Agassi. Look at the footwork, dancing quicksilver footwork to get himself there into the position from which he can deliver that stunning forehand winner to provide a fourth break point. So the longest game so far, with 5 deuces, and assuming greater importance with each succeeding point. Yes, tentative, you see. There was no conviction about that shot. And equally, Agassi fumbling that cross-court backhand. Normally, he's absolutely deadly with that one. And this is an Agassi eye view of the Chang serve. So many chances he's had, Agassi. Great point. And it begins to niggle away at the back of your mind when you have so many break points and fail to clinch them, and your opponent escapes with a lovely winning forehand like that. So well played Chang, surviving 5 break points to lead 3-2 first set. This is how he did it. Another of those lovely serves which Agassi obliges by missing. So a change of shirt, the iced towel around his neck, and more attention for that blistered palm. The trainer having to work hard today. Agassi with a fresh bandana, a nice dry one. Wondering how all those break points escaped him.
Time.
So a dry shirt for Michael Chang, a new bandana for Andre Agassi.
Thank you.
And the holder of the title, Michael Chang, is ahead 3-2 in the first set. Curiously anxious Agassi today. Seems sort of preoccupied. 3 double faults now. Oh.
15 all.
Well, Agassi serves a kicking ball to the backhand, which Chang thinks is wide.
In front of it. It was yep, just in front of it where you just pointed. That's not it. Caught the line.
You're absolutely positively
She saw
sure?
it. I saw it. Yep. Caught the line.
Well, you heard it. A difference of opinion. So a double fault, followed by an ace, an unexpected ace from Agassi, his first. That's where Agassi specialises, being able to take the ball on the rise, meeting it so early. And it's a question of timing. Few players can manage that without making errors. Well, that was Agassi of his younger days, when his coach then, Nick Bollettieri, used to have a heart attack every time he tried that drive volley, and he used to try them quite frequently. He was saying after yesterday's match, when he played Thomas Enqvist in the heat of the day, that he doesn't ever remember playing anywhere hotter. And that includes Washington, which can be absolutely brutal, and Australia. So Agassi holds for 3-all. But of course, it was the first time he'd played in Australia this year. Agassi, he won the tournament, which is a feat not many people have been able to emulate. Yes, the shake of the head telling of the disquiet within. That was Chang's 7th winner, but Agassi still ahead.
40 love.
And his second ace. And quite a tame serve in a sense of pace, but how beautifully placed. So Chang finishes with his second and third aces of the match to lead 4-3 in the first set.
Tennis fans, it's time for the Steinberg Span of the Session. Today's winner receives 2 free tickets to the 1996 Driftway ATP Championship. And our winner is seated in Section 10, Row N, Seat 8. Check your ticket. You might be our winner. Please take your ticket stub and report to the 1996 ticket sales booth located near the main entrance. Congratulations.
So the fluid intake is kept going, as it must be if you're not going to suffer from dehydration. The fan is spinning and bringing welcome relief from this sweltering heat. Particularly difficult, the humidity. So look at the service percentages for Agassi. 70%, that's very good, but only winning 57% of them, which shows the sort of anxious mood that he's in, and only winning half of his second serve points.
Thank you.
So that's much worse than he's been throughout the rest of the tournament, where his service percentage has been as high as 67%, and he's been winning 73% of those first serves that go in. New balls, Agassi 3-4.
Love 15.
Well, very heavily sliced, that forehand from Chang, who could barely reach it. I can't believe that Agassi didn't see it, because it was a rather careless reply from him into the net.
15.
Well, I sense that Agassi now is beginning to warm to the task and beginning to relax a little more. Absolutely deadly. He caught Agassi coming forward and trapped him with this perfectly placed and perfectly flighted and well disguised backhand lob. But impressively, that did not deter Agassi, who went on the attack immediately, which is exactly right. Four games all then in the opening set, neither man yet playing really as well as he has done in previous matches this week. So much at stake. And that serve percentage really rather low, but it's been low all week. Only 48% of first serves have been going in.
15.
When you think back to the service that Chang used to have, he's made tremendous strides. He's done a lot of training, some weight work, increase his upper body strength, and it's paying handsome dividends. He's a much more aggressive player than he ever was.
40.
Well served. And all 3 points have been produced as a result of good serving. The perfect service game to Love takes Chang into a 5-4 lead first set.
Good or out?
Oh,
Is it late or?
well,
Call it late? That's an awfully late call.
it certainly was an awfully late call. If I didn't hear it,
Go for first serve. That was an awfully late call. Just
did you hear it at home? Well, I didn't. And Rich Kaufman here in the chair hadn't heard it either. Excuse our cameraman getting a little excited there. But the game is not over. It's a fault at 40 Love, second serve. Really, they ought to play a let after that long interruption. Oh, they are playing a let, that's good. Well, it was only of academic interest. Chang is still ahead, 5-4, first set. There is the iced towel handed to him by the ball boy, kept in the cooler during play and brought out at the change of ends. Very sensible precaution that, trying to keep the body heat down. The fluid intake being kept up. And Agassi is not playing anything like his normal best tennis, which can only be explained by the tension of the occasion and, of course, by the awfully hot conditions. He played in the heat of the day yesterday against Enquist. Time to put that in the ice. Try and keep his body temperature down.
Time.
So look there at the average service speeds. Not the fastest, but the average. Chang marginally ahead. And Chang is certainly ahead in the courage stakes. He saved 9, or rather 8 break points. He's had 9 against him, but saved 8 of them.
Thank you.
And it's 96 degrees in the shade. 120 plus in the sun. A little bit of repartee with the umpire.
Yeah, but I said game. We were walking.
Oh, he's been forced to miss.
Love 15.
Agassi is not himself today. Chang senses his chance here and very sensibly becomes aggressive, goes on the attack, takes the net position and says, all right, pass me if you can. And he can't. Better serve. So this is the more aggressive Chang. It's a conscious effort he's making to take the net position more, and he's become really quite a good volleyer now. So here is a very big point indeed. 4-5, 30 all. First set. Well, he was lucky. And I think that 1 point, summing up the whole match for Agassi at the moment. He is not himself. He really should have killed the ball first time, and he has to work very hard here on a fine lob to kill it. Well served. And the ace is third of the day at 110 miles an hour, clinching that game to make it 5 all. And neither man yet is really flowing or fully relaxed. So that was really rather a poor second serve. And right into the hitting zone of Agassi. Good footwork again here, just a little adjusting steps to make that a lovely aggressive backhand, and this really a rather easy kill thanks to the depth of the previous shot. Yeah, smart play by Chang, changing the pace, changing the spin. One looped ball, then a slice backhand, inviting Agassi to overhit, which he does. "22 unforced errors, and that'll be something that Gilbert will be chatting about, though he's probably talking about the latest baseball scores. So yet another break point against the Chang serve. There were 3 in the opening game of the match. Agassi failed on all of them. There was 1 in the third game, he failed on that. Oh, sorry, that was the one he did break in the third game. But then there were 5 in the 5th game and he failed on all those. No, he's done it this time. So at last, Agassi moves ahead at the crucial moment in the set with this lovely winning forehand. 6 games to 5. First set.
Lenscrafter's sunglass giveaway goes to Barry Morza. Barry, please go to the Lenscrafter's booth to get your free pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. Congratulations.
So there, the ball boy taking some of the surplus water out of the towel that's been in the cooler there into the ice, handing it to Chang, who will usually drape it round his neck. Agassi has his over his knees. He's got the bandana soaked in iced water again. Absolutely sweltering day. But at least it's not raining. A few years ago I was here with my wife and there was an absolutely huge thunderstorm. It came out of the sky from nowhere and it drenched everything and it flooded part of the golf course, and I'll never forget a poor lady who had brought her new BMW, arrived back to find it absolutely underwater, and she was in tears. So the temperature has gone off the top of the thermometer, about 125 degrees in the sun. And that, of course, is where the players are suffering. Serving for the first set, Agassi, 6-5. And an air shot from Chang. Just looking to see where the ball bounced. It seemed to take a hop. Whether it was the spin Agassi put on it or not, I'm not sure. Here it is, lovely delivery. Ace number 4. Perfect. Agassi just glancing down at the baseline, because in the course of that rally, Chang hit a ball that a lot of people in the crowd thought might have been long. There it was, but no call. Lovely finishing backhand here from Chang. 15-30, remember. 5-6, or rather 6-5 serving. So that was a very, very important point, and so is this. 6-5-30 all. And Agassi's footwork, look at this, how he gets himself out of the way of the ball, little skip steps there, just to get the right distance from the ball to make his winner. So much more focused now. Agassi's 5th ace of the match, bringing his first set point. Whether that was the sun or perhaps some sweat falling in his eyes, I'm not sure. There it is. First set to Agassi. 7-5 after about 57 minutes of play. And that is a cruel blow to the defender of this title, Michael Chang. When they last played here, that was in 1993, 2 years ago, the first of Chang's 2 titles. They met in the semi-final, and the first set went to 7-5 that day, but it was Chang who won it. So that's not a good omen for him. Chang winning on that occasion 7-5, 1-6, 7-5. And Chang's 4th ace. Agassi making that look so easy, taking the ball almost as a half volley on his return, using the server's pace. But he can't prevent Chang from holding in the opening game of the second set.
Tennis fans, the Thriftway ATP Championship, presented by Great American Insurance Companies. I'd like to thank the following gold and host sponsors for their support, including our gold sponsors Coca-Cola, Dayton Power and Light, Nine Lives Cat Food, Penn Racket Sports, Steinberg's, and Xerox. Our host sponsors include the Cincinnati Enquirer and the Cincinnati Post.
Well, one can only speculate about what Chang is thinking at the moment, but he must be very disappointed. He has this slight injury to his hand, which is inconvenient rather more than anything else. There is the trainer attending to it, just trying to put something on it, but it's so difficult in these blister areas to keep the, particularly on a day like this, very difficult to keep the dressing in place. So much sweat.
Time.
But there is no man more courageous than Michael Chang. And one has seen him come back from quite impossible situations to win. And just trying to keep the pressure on it to keep it in place. But I'm afraid that it's going to fall off again, as it's done in the past. So a summary of the statistics for the first set. Agassi's service percentage rather better than Chang's. And if you look further down, he's hit more winners, 20 to 12, and also committed more unforced errors. It was a below par performance from both men in that first set, when they were both a little bit tense and nervous, unable to relax fully, unable to find their best form. But I'm sure that is not far away for both of them. 1-love to Chang, second set. Perfect anticipation from Chang there. Here it is again. And he goes down the line. Does Agassi, and Chang guessed right. Not an unforced error this time, forced by this man's power and accuracy. What a week it's been for both of them. Well, very lucky. Here it is again. Agassi realizing that the ball off the top of the net will offer him the chance of a pass, and he takes it. Seen from Chang's end, good early preparation there, the racket back, driving through the path he wants the ball to follow. Well guessed again. So obviously Chang has decided that aggression is necessary if he's going to turn this match round. 2 lovely volleys. That a saving volley that he puts deep enough to make this pass not that easy for Agassi, and he guesses right. Well, there's going to be no overrule. Sixth ace of the day for Agassi. Served 13 on the way to this final. Curious that all 8 All-American finals on the tour this year have involved Andre Agassi. 4 of them against Sampras. What a miss. Because it is the measure of a great player. Brad Gilbert there with Rich McKee. It is the measure of a great player that he can win when he's not at his best. And he hasn't been at his best today, Agassi. But somehow you find a way. Lovely footwork again here. Perfectly positioned for his winner. And both men adept at meeting the ball early on the double-hander. Seeing Gilbert just now, Agassi's coach. This is not one of the cities where they both won titles, though Gilbert has been the champion here. He won in 1989. But there are 7 other cities, curious enough, where both Agassi and Gilbert have won titles. Livingston, Memphis, Orlando, San Francisco, Scottsdale, Stratton Mountain and Vienna. In all those cities, Gilbert first and then Agassi later have won titles.
Wow, what was that?
A real ordeal, these conditions. Day after day of sweltering heat. Record temperatures. Oh, he's missed it. Well, which goes to show that it is worth running down every ball, because really Agassi was right out of this rally, and here comes Chang for the kill, and yet somehow he contrives to miss it. What a blow. Good serve. So they're having to force themselves to work in conditions where it would be much nicer to dive into the swimming pool. One all, second set.
above 15.
That's a marvellous play from Agassi, it really is. It's the depth of this shot that does the damage, seen from Chang's end. And of course the winner relatively easy, but it was the depth that it was just a flicked forehand too. Absolutely equal on winners and errors. Well, a lot of the fans of Michael Chang disappointed that that was called out, but it was just clear of the sideline. No, that's great tennis from Chang. What a gutsy performer this fellow is. Second break point. And again, Agassi curiously careless. So many break points have gone a-begging. Only twice has he broken. Oh, what a point. Using Agassi's pace. Such accuracy.
Deuce.
Well, it's absolutely uncanny, this man's natural length that he keeps. He just swings at the ball, flaps at it almost. Very fast racket head speed through the ball and finding a perfect length.
Advantage.
So again, Chang lives dangerously but survives. 2 break points against him, but he's 2-1 in the second set.
Time.
So water being poured over his head to try and cool him down still further. The iced towel, which lives in a bucket full of ice water during play and then is removed for the change of ends. But it's impossible to stay cool on a day like this, where the sun temperature, the temperature down on the court there is about 125 degrees. And this cruel humidity of over 80%, about 85%. And the average service speeds, very similar.
Thank you. 15 love.
Now, it's not going to do any good, the protest, except to make the point. So that will go as Agassi's 7th ace, I make it. I think our statistician seems to think it's only 6.
31.
But there was the air shot that Chang hit. Perhaps our statistician thinks that his racket just flicked the edge of the ball on that occasion. But he didn't touch that one. 3 in a row. The sort of thing you expect of Ivanisevic or Sampras. Sampras incidentally beaten by Stick here this week. On another sweltering afternoon. So a very emphatic service game from Agassi, easily his best of the match. And one wonders just how long these men can keep up this intense competition in this sweltering heat. One can only sympathize. Change of balls. Lovely trophy they're playing for here. Just a little reminder if they want incentive. But I fancy that the 340 points for the winner is the biggest incentive of the lot. They won't be thinking too much about the $254,000 that the winner will receive, because they're both dollar millionaires several times over, many times over. Another very, very good example of the natural length that Agassi finds on his drives. Well played. So yet again, Chang in trouble on his serve. It's quite remarkable how this fellow can escape. 14 times now he's been breakpoint down, and only twice has he failed to win the point. And yet another. Agassi's turn. Oh, I think it... No, it hasn't been overruled. I thought Rich Kaufman was about to overrule, but he would have had to have done it immediately. Oh, yes, he has overruled it. I saw it out, waited for the call, didn't come. Linesman unsighted. Well, that was clear enough. What a cruel blow for Chang. Well, you have to hand it to him. You really do. From Agassi's end, this is what it looked like. He didn't see much of that winner, did he? And what a brave shot it was. Oh, 2 balls on the line with successive shots. Quite uncanny, almost radar controlled those drives. A 4th break point. Well done. At last, Agassi has made his break. He's 3-2 ahead in the second set, having won the first. And this is how he did it. That flailing forehand. In he goes and finds a lovely little control on the half volley.
Recommends that you wear a hat, drink plenty of fluids, and go to shaded areas during changeovers. If you feel weak or dizzy, go to the first aid room. The first aid room is located at the southern end of the tennis complex, near the grandstand court. Be careful today. Thank you.
Well, Chang was unlucky there, he really was. He fought back so hard, saved 3 of those break points, and then thought he'd served an ace. But that was denied him, and eventually lost his serve. So a glance here at the winners. From Agassi, 9 on serve, 9 on forehand, 4 on backhand and 10 at the net. Agassi serving with his break, leading 3-2 second set. Well, I'm sure Chang is going to try and take the fight to Agassi as he did in the first set when he immediately broke back. When he first was broken in the third game, he broke back immediately.
30.
And Andre Agassi is the first world #1 to reach this final since 1983. John McEnroe it was in that year. Oh, that'll beat him. Certainly Agassi's form has improved now. A good volley that too. And yet on the full run he's able to control the topspin lob quite perfectly. And with what I make his 10th ace of the day, there's a little debate about whether it's 9 or 10. Agassi holds for 4-2. And there are Chang's winners, 23 of them, only 4 at the net.
Love 15.
And things beginning to look a little ominous now for Chang. And so is one of the match statistics, because in their 11 previous matches, well played Agassi. In their 11 previous matches, the man who's won the opening set has gone on to win 10 times. So the odds heavily here against Chang. If you believe that statistics are an indication of what might happen. In fact, the only time he did beat, or the man who lost the first set did win, was when Chang beat Agassi at the Canadian Open in 1990. Oh, what a rally. And Agassi now at his very best. That was a masterly shot. Chang did so well to reach it even, but he was dead to the pass. And certainly Agassi now has run into a hot streak. Took him a long time in this match to find his form and relax fully, but he's relaxed now, all right. Oh, what a a miss. So Chang suffers a second break of serve in a row. 4 games in a row to Agassi, and he's 5-2 in the second set. So Rich McKee there with Brad Gilbert. Brad obviously delighted with the way Agassi has turned this match in his direction. Chang with the ice towel over his head, but I don't think it's going to do him much good. I wish I could be a little more optimistic on his behalf, because there is no finer player on the tour. He's a lovely person. Gilbert absolutely overjoyed with the way Agassi has played today. And looking ahead now to the US Open, of course, only 2 weeks away. Summary of the set 2 statistics so far. Serving percentage of Agassi better than Chang's. He's hit more winners and fewer unforced errors, but it's been close, even though it's 5-2. The games have been very, very close. So the cheers and the applause largely for Andre Agassi, who has really produced a fine burst of play to take the last 4 games, so that his 5-2 lead now means that he's serving for the title. And for a set, Agassi was missing those sort of shots, but now his eye is fully in. Oh! 2 forehand passes. And that hand must be troubling Chang today. It's been a very gutsy performance all round.
Oh!
They're pressing a little bit too hard. 4th double fault. And he'll go on fighting till the last gasp. Shot. A shot of absolute genius. He was absolutely hopelessly outplaced, but he found the winner, and it's given him championship point. What an extraordinary point. And even Brad Gilbert can hardly believe it. Carl Chang, Michael's brother. And here is the shot of the week. Hit between his legs, almost for a winner, but he just misses the sideline. And so instead of game, set and match to Agassi, we're back at deuce. But the serve is good enough to force the error. Championship point for the second time. And that's it. And a standing ovation for a new champion. The world number one, Andre Agassi, has now at last won the ATP championship here in Cincinnati. Another new title to his name, and in all his 30th career singles title. It wasn't a great match. For a set, he was a little ill at ease. Both men struggling in the intense heat. Chang fighting bravely. Remembering that he had that injured hand, it really was a fine performance from him. But this is the serve that finally clinched it. And there it is. Agassi wins here for the first time. So a truly wonderful performance from him. Came into this match today with 5 titles to his name in 1995, and now he's added a 6th. So that really is a wonderful performance, and very, very difficult for both of them. Here was nearly the shot of the week. Yesterday, Michael Stick produced against Chang a winning shot from an impossible position in a similar vein at a sharp angle across the net, a bit like that with his back to the net. But Agassi couldn't quite match it today. So here's the match summary. Agassi's serving percentage was always better than Chang's today. Served more aces too, though I would argue with that. I made it 10. Served a few double faults, but he was going for his serve. And 38 winners to 23. 30 unforced errors, most of those coming in the first period when Agassi was at his most erratic. Not a classic match by any means, but the difficult conditions made that unlikely from the start. About 125 degrees in the sun on that court, and it's like playing in a sauna bath. And that only just missing as it crossed the net, heading for the sideline. So there is the Champions Cup. Beautiful piece of Waterford crystal.
I'll tell you, the first match point you had, if you had ended with that shot, it would have been, it still was the most phenomenal shot, but what a way that would have been to end the tournament.
that would have been something, thank you. But, you know, Michael's such a tough competitor. I think he's proved it over the last few years here, but certainly this week, coming back from match points down against Courier, down a set against Zeke, and I knew I had to close him out on any first opportunity, and that was the first match point. And needless to say, he was running all over the court and trying real hard, so I had to, in my mind, I had to win it on that one. So you just kind of get a little bit creative when that ball gets a little too close to the ground.
You certainly gave it a big thump. I'll tell you, the first set in weather like this is so important. In your guys' previous encounters, 10 of the 11 times whoever won the first set won the match. Did you think today's first set was really the whole match?
You can never say that winning the first set against Michael or really any player is the match, but certainly that would set the momentum. I mean, I feel like You know, Michael played 3 hours against Courier 2 days ago, and they came back for another 2-hour match last night. And I knew if I got up to the first set, all that would do would make his job more difficult. But he's risen to the occasions plenty of times, and I just knew I had to stay focused. I didn't want to go 3 sets. I wanted to get it over with as soon as possible, and had I lost it first, I would have still tried to win it in 3. But I just did what I could, and it happened to go my way.
From midway through the second set, you went on a tear. You won 12 of 13 points, getting up 30-11 the last game. Was it one of those things where you see the finish line close and you just dig in and try that much more?
Yeah, you know, it's just the conditions are so tough out here that once you get up that break and you realize all I have to do is hold serve 3 times, maybe twice if I can break again, and the match is over with, you really dig down deep. And I felt like that being up a game gives you the luxury of going for bigger shots, and I came up with some big offensive shots that came close to the lines to win a few of those points in a row. But again, there's nothing you can take away from the way Michael played, and I feel like you can go on 14 points in the swing, but
Congratulations, Andre, on being the 1995 Driftway ATP Tour Championship. Thank you.
So Pam Shriver there talking with Andre Agassi over the public address system, and the crowd here thoroughly appreciating all that he said. And I must say he's a very gracious man these days, is Andre Agassi. He's matured so much and has really played some wonderful tennis since the start of the year in Australia, when he won there for the first time with a victory over Pete Sampras. And on court now come all those dozens of court officials, ball boys, ball girls, all those who have helped to make this a memorable week. And it was a memorable week with 8 of the top 10 men here, just getting ready for the prize-giving ceremony. Takes a great deal of organising a tournament of this sort, and certainly everybody works very hard behind the scenes. A great team of volunteer helpers making it all work smoothly. And Agassi can reflect on some really wonderful moments in the course of this year, and I think he'll count today's win among them. His 6th title of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to center court for our trophy presentation. And now, Tournament Director, Paul Flory.
1, 2. Thank you very much. Today a great champion lost, but a great champion won. We've had the best week of tennis in the 21 years that I've been doing this. Absolutely great matches. I would like to thank the fans, the volunteers, 1,000 of them, the sponsors, and the players for making this truly a great week of tennis. With me here today to present the trophies and checks, to my right is J. Wayne Richmond, Executive Vice President of Tennis in North America. To his left is Dan Lefevre, President of the Thriftway Company. To my left is Gary Gruber, Senior Vice President of Great American Insurance Companies. And to his left, Joy Murphy, Business Executive of the IBM Company. And now to present the runner-up check and trophy, Mr. Gary Gruber.
Thank you, Paul. Once again, this year, the Great American Insurance Companies is very happy to be associated with this outstanding ATP championship as the presenting sponsor. It was a great week of tennis, capped off today by this fantastic championship match. Michael, if you could step forward, please.
So a tremendous hand for the champion of the past 2 years, who has failed to take a third. Always popular wherever he goes, and he does a great job for the game, acknowledging the cheers of the crowd.
Michael, I think the people in Cincinnati love you. I have a check in the amount of $133,800 for your efforts this week, and a beautiful Water for Crystal trophy.
So something else to put on the mantelpiece at home.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Andre. I think he's played some great tennis, not just this week, but the past 3 weeks. And hopefully for the rest of us, it won't carry on through to the US Open. But I congratulate you on a very good effort. This week has been another great week for me here in Cincinnati. I definitely wanted to three-peat like quite a few of you were hoping for, but I hope you guys would just settle for finalists and the best that I could do today. I'd definitely like to thank all the volunteers and all the sponsors, Thriftway, and all the other sponsors that you see around the court. I definitely would also like to say a special thank you to the ball boys and ball girls. I think that without them, I probably would have been passed out on the court sometime a few matches ago. I'd also like to thank Doug Spreen for all his help throughout this week. I appreciate all the time and effort that you put into it. I'd also just like to thank all the people for coming out. I mean, you guys have always been great every single year that I come out here, and I just love your support and your attitude and the way that you guys approach tennis. And last and most importantly, I'd just like to thank the Lord for, without him, I wouldn't have this talent to play this wonderful sport of tennis, and I just feel so blessed and so loved by him. And I'll be back.
Well, he's a fine representative of this greatest of all international sports.
To present the winner's check and trophy, Mr. Dan Lefevre.
Once again, it's been the pleasure of Thriftway Stores to be one of the sponsors of one of the finest ATP tournaments anywhere in the world. I think Paul Fories and the people here in Cincinnati have done a fabulous job of putting on a great week of tennis. At this time, it's our great pleasure of mine personally to present the check to Andre Agassi on the behalf of the 4,000 great Thriftway associates.
What a year he's having, the world number one.
Congratulations, Andre.
Small matter of $254,000.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Michael here on just a tough week altogether, and to three-peat here, it's not easy to do, but for a while you had me convinced you were going to do it out here, so congratulations on a good week too. I'd also, Jesus, a lot of money. I tell you what, though, I would have given it all up to have this little ball kid run around with me with that umbrella during these points. It was definitely hot out here. It's been a tough week, and it's been such a great preparation week for all the players here leading up to the Open. Not just the quality of players that they have here, or the beautiful stadium, or even the weather that's going to be so familiar to us when we get to New York, but especially the enthusiasm that all you show. So I just want to give please give yourselves a round of applause for such great support. I'd just like to say very special thanks to my coach, Brad Gilbert, for just making all my dreams in this game come true.
Well, that's a nice recognition of all the help that Brad has given Andre since the spring of 1994.
Thanks to all the ball kids for not passing out here and helping us not pass out. I appreciate all your help, all the sponsors. The tournament from the players' perspective is an entire success, and so many of us look forward to coming back every year, and I'm definitely one of them, so I'll see you next year. Thanks.
A very polished performance with the microphone, as with the racket. So there it is, Andre Agassi, for the first time the champion here in Cincinnati. It's been a great week of tennis, and there is more to savour as the US Open approaches. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage here of the ATP Thriftway Championships. Time now from all of us in Cincinnati to wish you goodbye.
This concludes the ceremony. Doubles will begin shortly.